So here's the back wheel set. Make sure you get the right one. This one's got the pump eccentric on it and it's got the return clamps there. But it doesn't go straight into the horns. They're a little bit tight because of the paint on them. So there's a little bit of fitting to do here. So we're going to start off by just taking the paint off the inside of the horn blocks. And once we've done that, we can establish the fit, and we might actually have to just run a file down it. So they want to be a nice sliding fit, but not loose. Just try that, make sure we're not going too far. Just starting, so we're about there on that.
Do you want to do both sides?
Yeah, we'll do the other side now.
Do the other side and then we can get it in nice and parallel, can't we? Excellent. Amazing that the paint thickness makes all the difference.
Yeah, so take the paint off and then just a little lick over with a file and you should be there. Let's give that a try. It doesn't matter which way round you get the wheels, but you do have to get the holes for the spring pins at the bottom. So that's pretty much there, with a little bit of oil on it, and work them up and down a bit. You don't want them any looser than that, but they need to be able to move up and down under the spring tension.
I'm assuming with a bit of oil and a bit of use, they'll start to bed in, won't they?
Yes, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, that's really not far off.
Okay, well we'll do the same with the front wheel set. Get that together.
Yeah.
Okie dokie, we're on to section 2. I'll get these springs and keeps together while Andy's fitting up the wheels.
Yeah, those are the keeps, those are the spring pins, set of springs there, and some rubber pads go on the back axle.
So we've just put these into position. These need to be a little bit tight, so we're just going to...
Yeah, we'll nip them up with the pliers.
Nip them into place.
They're easier to work on when the wheel sets out of the frame. Okay, it doesn't matter which way round the wheels go, it comes out the same in the end. That's a nice running fit. We'll need to be able to move up and down under the pressure of the spring and not get stuck, otherwise the wheel stays up and the engine will come off the track. And this is the back set. That's beginning to look like a loco.
Yeah. Alright, so we get the springs and the keeps and everything into position, and then we're on to the next bit.
Yeah. Take a whisker more out of this one. So put a spot of oil on the axle boxes to make sure they run up and down freely. That's it, that's better. You don't want it to press up and stick. It's got to be able to move under the spring pressure. Then there's a sequence for assembling. You've got these little rubber pads that go on the back axle only, and their job is to hold the axle boxes in the right place for setting the valves. Having got those on, we then put the keeps on, there and there, and the springs go on the top once the keeps are in place. So when that's all down, you can get a nut on the top.
There's an M4x8 socket cap.
Right, there's socket cap screws for the keeps. Thanks.
There's an Allen key for you.
Okie doke. Get those in place.
Yeah, so if you look at these keeps, can you see the holes are offset? You've got to make sure that the holes are spaced so you miss the chassis. Then the keeps line up nicely. So on this side here, this one will be going on this way to avoid the chassis. This one here. To avoid the chassis.
Once the axle boxes are all in place with the keeps, we pop on the two little springs and then a 4mm nut on the top. We'll run the nut down to keep it tight. And see if it's turning nice and freely and springing at the moment. There's no weight of all the boiler and water and goodness knows what, so that needs to be pretty tight. And the back ones have that little rubber pad in there that keeps them in their running position, which holds the valve gear in the correct place. So they're only going to move if you go over a really bad bump.
Excellent. So we'll get that pump together and into position.
Yeah, pump next, and then we're finished on that page.
Excellent. So we're just going to put together the pump. Got all the pump parts out. And if you look at the drawing, you've got to be quite... So you've got your little stainless steel ball, the brass fittings, washers, nuts, O-rings, everything is listed off carefully in the drawing. And if you go to your packs, you can start to look through for all the appropriate parts. Washers, balls, O-rings. So we should be able to put this one together and get that into position. Yeah, so we're just putting this pump together.
Yeah, we've started assembly, a couple of washers, the balls in there. This is the bottom fitting, which needs to end up at right angles. We put some tape on it as well just to help. So this shows the position that will be up when it's on the engine. We've run one of the nuts on the main body. The nuts have got a chamfer on one side and flat on the other.
Flats against the steel, I'm assuming?
Yeah, just to make it look tidy.
Yeah.
And that's only finger tight for the moment because we need to set the depth. So here's the pump ram with its O-ring and the eccentric rod. Now, it is possible to get this the wrong way up. Ideally, we have it this way up so that you can see the bolts to get it apart. If you put it the other way up, the boiler's in the way. So we'll get the O-ring in, the eccentric on, and just nip up the bolts. And once it's gone to the front of its throw, that's bottoming out, so we've got to come back a little bit. In a bit more. So it looks like it's right on the end of the thread. That's still bottoming out, it's got to come on a bit more. That's it. Okay, once we've got it all set, we can run around and tighten everything up.
Just hold the pump in position while you nip up those nuts.
Yeah, that's good and tight.
That's pretty solid now, isn't it? Excellent. Pump's in position.
Yeah, bit of oil on the O-ring to make it slide up and down nicely. We put a little spot on the eccentric and the crank and on the ram. There we go. Yeah.
Excellent. And that is page 2 complete. So the next part is cylinders.
Final touch for this part of the chassis build is to put the maker's plate on the back buffer beam. Goes on with a couple of little 2mm screws. And there she is, ready for the cylinders.